like to talk about handmade VC 3D printing debate. I know this topic been there for a while already, it's not something new, but I saw a video yesterday which inspired me to share my own opinion on this and to tell you where am I on this in this debate, because I'm a knitter, I'm a crocheter for many years now, and I'm also deep into 3D printing. I've got my 3D printer 2 years back, and I make my own 3D models. I sell my own 3D prints. So I thought my perspective on this topic could be interesting and a bit different compared to the people who on one or another side of these things, like compared to someone who make handmade things or someone who are only deep into 3D printing and not doing anything else. But yeah, we will back to this a bit later. Hi, my name is Kate and this is my channel about knitting and crocheting, so it's not my typical video. Normally I film videos about my current knitting and crochet projects. I also talk about 3D prints I've made, about models I've made, or 3D prints I made for my hobbies, for knitting, crocheting, painting, so on. And if you're a knitter or crocheter and you are interested in these topics, subscribe as well. I have a lot of videos for you. So there is a debate on the topic if we may count 3D printed stuff as a handmade. And there are a lot of makers who are not happy to see 3D printed things on website, on marketplaces like Etsy, also on local markets. You now can see stands with 3D printed toys, widgets, and etc. And makers are not happy about this. And some people say because handmade requires direct physical manipulation of materials like yarn, clay, etc. 3D printed stuff can't count as a handmade, because if you are not aware what is 3D printing, it's when I use a 3D printer machine, I give it a model, a 3D model, and basically press the button and machine create this model out of some materials for me. It's mostly about plastic, but technically it's not only plastic. You may use different materials. Now you can 3D print with a lot of things. And some people say, yes, I didn't make these 3D prints with my hands, but I control the whole process. It's not a huge manufacturing process. It's only me, my machine in my office room, or I don't know, in my living room. And it's because of this, because it's like a small process made at your home, it's a handmade. That's the debate basically. I would say I'm somewhere in the middle. Sometimes 3D printed stuff, 3D printed things may count as a handmade. Sometimes they are not. I think most of the people are aware about the process of knitting a sweater or crochet a toy or crochet a sweater, and about how to create some ceramics. Maybe you don't know in details, but you have image in your head how it's happening and why we say it's a handmade. For 3D printing, I think I had to say a little bit about the process, because I think not everyone knows how it's working. So to make a 3D print, you of course need a 3D printer. And currently the process of 3D printing is not as difficult as it was just a few years back. There are just a few steps you should make to print your own model. You go to a website. There are many websites with huge catalogs of 3D models for every occasion of your life, and most of them available for you for free. You go there, you download the model, you use a special program to slice this model, basically to prepare this 3D model for your 3D printer. So your 3D printer will know what to do, will know how to print this. And then you click start, and after a few hours you have something made. So for example, this plant pot, I didn't make this model. What I did when I needed a plot, when I needed a pot, look how beautiful is it. I went to a website called Maker Vaults. I found a pot which I liked. I downloaded the model using my phone, clicked the button to prepare the model for 3D printing, clicked the button to print it. It took me a few hours. I don't remember already how many, but I think it was longer than like 5 hours, about 6 or 7. And then I had a pot. I just took it from my printer, that's it, ready to use. Nothing more. I didn't have to do anything with this pot in order to use it. I just put my plant there and that's it. Done. So because this process becomes so simple and 3D printing become available for many people now, many people say it's not counts as a handmade items anymore. And in this case, I agree. I would say if I would sell only pots like this, which I downloaded the models, I didn't do any modifications to the models or to the prints after I made them, and I just put them on the market directly, then I would say, yeah, it doesn't count as a handmade. I didn't add anything. There was no idea which I add to this project. There was nothing I made with my hands about this. So in this case, I agree with people who says it's not handmade. But there are also many people who create their own 3D model. For example, I made this model for dragon scale yarn ball, made it from scratch. So I had an idea in my head. I would like to have a yarn ball inspired by Fourth Wing or Empyrean series, because a few months back I read the Onyx Storm and I had a huge book hangover, so I needed to make something with it, and I decided to create a yarn ball. And it took me a few hours and a few days, I would say, to create this, because I had few attempts, few different ways to create a dragon scale. Some didn't work. It took me a lot of failed prints to find a way to make it look like an image in my head. So the process is different. I had an idea in my head. I went there, I created my own model, so it didn't exist before, and then I 3D printed it. So in this process, I use 3D printer as a tool, and I think in this case, this may count as a handmade. Because for me, handmade is not only about us making something with our hands, it's also about us creating something new, and about people adding part of them to their projects. And I definitely would say here part of me is here in this dragon scale yarn ball. It took me a lot of time to create a model, and yeah, now I sell these yarn balls, and before I would sell them, yeah, it doesn't take me long. It's 10 hours to print this, and that's it. And the process now become as simple as in previous example. I just have this model, I add it to my slicer, prepare this model for printing, click the button, and done. But still, because of the preparation, because I made this model by myself, I think it counts as a handmade. But there is another option that I think 3D printing counts as handmade. Let's say I found a 3D model which I didn't make. It's someone else's model. I like it. I download it. I press the button to print this model. But then, when printing was done, that wasn't the end of my process. I went and painted, or I added something like lights there, or maybe I customized the model before I printed it to become something else entirely. For example, it could be even a simple customization, like there was a ball made for as a simple ball, but I would like to see it as a yarn ball, and the author of this model allow you to use his design and customize it, and I made a yarn ball from it. In this case, I think it's still handmade, because it's still me having my own idea in my head and customizing it. Specifically, if we say about cases when I decided to paint the model which I 3D printed, or I 3D printed something as a part of a bigger project, and I added a 3D printed detail, like I printed a dragon scale and added as a detail to to a bag or somewhere else. I think it's a handmade. And I think many artists who are angry with 3D printing, they are not aware about 3D printed artists who made crazy stuff with it. There is a girl, I think she is actually Dutch, but I'm not sure. I think she lives in London now, but originally I think she's from Netherlands, like local creator. She creates clothes with 3D printed clothes. She creates the whole fabric piece by piece. She creates like small pieces, put them together to get a skirt, to get a top, and her works are amazing. It's beautiful, and it's definitely something new, and it definitely counts as a handmade. I don't think we can say it's not, because she, first of all, it's her own idea. She put it together by hands. It's handmade. There is creators like, I'm sorry I'm really bad with names, but names would be here and in the description as well. He 3D prints on fabric, and he creates crazy beautiful prints, and he adds them to the clothes. He makes sweatshirts with beautiful 3D printed fabrics around the hood, for example, and it's beautiful and it's handmade. It's counted as a handmade. He has his own ideas and he used 3D printer as a tool, and 3D printer is a tool in the end. It's just a tool. That's it. Some people says 3D printing is not that simple, and you need a lot of knowledge in order to 3D print something. You need to learn how the printer works, how to like work with 3D models, where to get them. And yeah, I agree, it's not that simple, but at the same time I think we all may agree it's not that difficult as it was like just 5 years back. It's much simpler. You don't need a lot of technical knowledge about your printers. They are very reliable right now, and you just have to watch a few videos on YouTube how to make maintenance of your printers. And of course there would be failed prints. Yeah, I know. And to deal with it with your bare hands, you have to work on your printer, you have to fix it. And that's why a lot of people says it's 3D printed stuff can count as a handmade. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a programmer, and in order to create a program, I basically need also a lot of knowledge on the topic, on the programming, how to write the code, and I create something. Before I start, there could be nothing, and then in the end you can make a website, for example. But is it does it count as a handmade? No, it's not. So I don't think an argument when we say you need a lot of knowledge to do so, or you sometimes need to fix your machine, may be an argument to say it's a handmade. No, I don't think so. As a conclusion, I think people who use 3D printers may have a place at the same table as knitters, crocheters, ceramists, and other people who create handmade stuff. They can be presented at the same marketplaces, and they can be presented at the same local markets, at the handmade markets. I think 3D printed stuff sometimes may count as a handmade, as long as you're transparent about your things being created with your own models or not, as long as you added something or created something in the process. If maybe you customize the model, maybe it's your own model, maybe you took someone else's model but you brought something else, like you painted it, changed it somehow, or maybe you sanded it and make it polished, looks a bit different compared to the original author's ideas. So in these cases, I think, yeah, it is handmade. But if you just 3D printed a dragon and that's it what you did, it's not. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this topic. Where are you in this debate? Are you agree with me, or maybe you have a different opinion? Let's discuss it in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. Happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy crafting. Bye!